Hey, what's going on, everybody? Josh Cathcart with Hitting Done Right. For this next video, I'm going to talk about various ways to get our hands into the right position when we hit launch. Okay, people talk about loading the hands, people talk about stretching the back, loading the scap, all sorts of different ways. But getting our hands and then getting our body in the right position at launch. But before we jump into that, if you are liking the content, please hit that subscribe button. Go check out my online services on my website, www.hittingdoneright.com. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out on any of my social media platforms. All right, so that being said, let's hop into this video. All right, y'all, let's talk about hand placement, starting hand placement, and where we should be at launch. Okay, a lot of times people talk about just keeping the hands quiet, which I'm all for some players, meaning we're basically getting them into the right position in our stance. Okay, but anybody that's ever watched baseball, softball knows that not all players start with their hands and the knob and the barrel just like this. There's all different variations, okay? One of the ways that we see some of the best hitters that ever walked the planet is what I call the hand pump, okay, where they start their hands low, and as they get into their back hip, into that coil move, they pump the hands up toward the shoulder, okay? You're going to see this with like Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, Ted Williams, okay, David Ortiz, guys like that, little hand pump, all right, from starting low, pumping up into launch, getting that knob in the direction of the catcher. Okay, this can be very productive with players that try to create their rhythm in their hands. All right, the other extreme is guys that start with their hands really high. Okay, Mookie Betts is one that comes to mind for me. There have been guys throughout the history of the game. Julio Franco kind of up here with the big barrel tip, okay? Once they get up here, I like to think about the knob and the front knee working together, and then they get into their proper launch position. So we've got the low hands with the hand pump. We've got the high hands, kind of knob and knee, all right? Then you have the more standard, where we're already sitting in kind of this position here. You can see guys that kind of wiggle. Some may go this way, like a Sheffield, okay? Or some are just going to sit pretty standard just right here in a static position. Kind of like a Bregman, gets the shoulders kind of moving, but the bat's pretty much already set. He has a little bit of barrel set, but it's pretty much already there, And then the Judge and the Ohtani, where those hands are a little further out, and it looks like they're kind of pulling them back toward their body as they get into launch position. The key for me is, number one, not every player is the same. So some kids are going to need to experiment with this. Guys change their hand positions throughout their careers growing up. Just because you do something when you're 8, 9 years old doesn't mean it has to be that way in high school, college, and beyond, okay? Professionals sometimes are moving their hands around to find a spot that they feel like they can consistently be in rhythm and get to a proper launch position ready to fire off the barrel, all right? Sometimes we have to think about it in what are kids doing, okay? You've got kids that are here and then they want to drop their hands, all right? I had a kid in the other day kind of having a problem where he was getting here. He wanted to kind of drop and suck his hands kind of down and back. So we went ahead and we stuck those hands way up high. And I said, just do what you do from here, man. Don't think about it. Just as the ball comes, do what you do. And sure enough, those hands dropped into a really good spot. He started getting into a better connection, and it just clicked for him. Okay, the smile on his face told the story. I didn't have to ask, hey, what'd you think, how it felt? Okay, he just ripped one up the middle and this huge smile on his face. So don't pigeonhole people, okay? Don't force a position upon every hitter or, hey, you got to be this way. It has to be like this. There are no absolutes when it comes to setup. It's all about being in rhythm, being consistent, and being on time to our spot to be able to fire the barrel off and hopefully give us the hardest, most consistent contact possible. So if you've got kids that are struggling a little bit, they're not getting into a proper launch position consistently and on time with their hands, go ahead, change it up, okay? Start them down at their hip, start them way up high, start them straight out, okay? Some kids, if you start them just like this with the bat on their shoulder and the knob directly out, they're gonna go ahead and end up getting into a really good position, okay? Let the athlete be an athlete. Experiment with the movements, experiment with the setup, okay? Nothing cookie cutter about hand placement as long as we can get to that launch position on time and consistently. All right, so I hope that information helps. Again, if you ever have any questions, want to shoot me a short video of your players to ask questions, let me know. Y'all be good.